Today we're chatting with Eythan Maidoff, a cinematographer, and we're going to be talking about his latest project where he went to Egypt and had an interesting time there with lots of problems. So let's get right into it, folks. You gotta stay right here.
Yeah,
you gotta
just stay.
You gotta put your mouth right here.
Yeah, this is good. I feel really
okay,
close
so
to you.
Photography of Director podcast has expanded.
Yeah.
At least for today.
Yeah.
I fit two people into a tiny room. Those are triangles. Those are my triangles back there.
Oh man, so you made those?
Yeah, I made those triangles.
Nice. Nice.
I decorated lots of things with stars and triangles. That's my favorite.
I like arts and crafts still. You know?
And glue.
Yeah. I see you have a 3D printer back there, so you're really stepping up the arts and crafts.
Yeah, I'm a nerd. So this is a little bit different. I usually don't have people inside the man cave here.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
But I'm trying something new today. We're going to try to talk to our good friend, Eythan.
Yeah, Eythan.
And you want to give him your full title and credentials?
Yeah, my name's Eythan Maidoff. I'm trying to be a DP. I'm working primarily as a camera operator and AC as well. And I forgot to turn my phone off, I think that was me,
but don't worry.
But yeah, most of my paid gigs have been through camera operation and ACing, and I'm slowly trying to build up a DP reel in the background, So
I don't like the way you started that. I think you should. You're already a DP.
I am a DP,
yeah. You've been shooting for how many years now?
I'd say since I was shooting bat mitzvahs when I was 17. I was the DP of all the bat mitzvahs at the local temple.
That's a little iffy, but
but no, it's 4 years. I've owned a Red and an Alexa.
Yeah, okay. Let's get into this because I know a lot about him. Obviously, that's why I invited him here. And he's done a couple of interesting projects. He just came back from a feature in Egypt where. You were paid pennies on the dollar for working in Egypt as an Egyptian, basically. Right?
Yeah, it was
camera operator and DP.
No. A good friend was DPing on that one. His name is Fede Seska. He's a great guy. I was pretty much his right hand man. Mostly at First AC, and First AC over there is really.
Wait, you were first AC, not a camera op?
I would help out. Like, there was maybe some B or second unit,
Okay. Well, I don't want to go off topic because I want to give some background first, but this was a feature you were brought into Egypt that actually lasted approximately 6 months in total.
Yeah.
Right?
I think, from beginning to end, it was roughly 6 months. It wrapped last week. And
you're obviously not there.
I am not there. It started in, I think, beginning of September. That's when production started kicking in. I came in October 1st, roughly, end of September, October 1st. And I was there I kind of lived there for 2 months. And I was in Cairo, and big city over there, and a lot of the time we all just kind of shacked up together in a nice office.
Well, it's cool. I mean, obviously it was an independent film, not a big payday, but you still got to go to Egypt and experience being a filmmaker somewhere else.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about what was that like working with? You had to work with a lot of locals, right?
Yeah. It's I don't know, country to country. I think every country has a different way of just operating. Like, a First AC is a focus puller over there, and
well, I mean, we have an indie film similar. It's not like a First AC is not a focus puller.
Yeah, but
here.
A First AC is kind of they're not as they're not as sexy as the DP, or the operator, but it's like they're in charge of all the equipment and. Yeah. And
same thing here,
just
buddy.
The flow of moving it. No, I'm talking about here. That's how it is over here.
Oh, yeah.
But over there, it's literally, there's no insurance. There's no insurance at rental houses. So it's literally a guy that's in charge of the lenses. And if he drops a lens, I'm sure he's going to work for free for you dropped a $30,000 lens. That's the insurance is a dude. So it's like
it's a 16-year-old dude.
Yeah, it's one of the most responsible 17-year-olds you'll ever meet. No, it's like, so someone's in charge of camera, someone's in charge of lenses, there's someone in charge of monitor and
you're basically saying for every single piece of gear that's critical, there's a person in charge of that.
Yeah, accessoire, that's accessory, there's your accessories guy.
Right.
And it's just really compartmentalized like that. And they're like...
Obviously it's because people are more affordable over there.
Yeah, I think so. It's a completely different industry. You'll see, like, walking into an Egyptian set, there's a lot of extra people there, just kind of like who does what kind of thing. And I still felt that way, like, until I left. Like, I literally, because as a first AC in America, it's like I'm in charge of these 6 people that move around the gear for me, but over there I'm just a focus puller, and then that leaves everyone else as their own thing.
Right.
So it's
so how big was the camera crew on this independent film in Egypt? And this is a low budget. This is a low budget film, right?
Yeah, it's low budget. It's whatever. But think about this: whatever money that they had here, it's times 7.9 over there. So it's like it's low budget here, but it was like medium or pretty decent budget over there. Yeah,
but, it was basically an Egyptian American who took American money to Egypt to make this movie, right?
Yeah. I don't know as much of like the financing, but it definitely it helped him. I'm sure on the exchange rate over there. Yeah. It was a good stretch. But the way things are done over there, it's just, I would come there on the first day and not really know any Arabic. And I'm talking slowly to them, and I'm American. So it was just like, it was a weird, like, lost in translation kind of thing. And I'm used to telling a few people what to do, and they're just like, no, I'm in charge of battery, or I'm in charge of, you
had to learn basically each individual role for whatever the guy did.
Because you really can't just go there and say, this is the way things are done in America, things are done here are better. You can't say that, It's like, who's to say what way is the better way anyway?
So you were telling me earlier, let's get to the juicy details.
Yeah. I'm just trying to be like,
It's trying to be all politically correct
I'm trying to be politically correct. I just don't want,
listen, the audience, they want to know who you slept with.
Oh, man.
Okay. All right. Maybe he slept with a couple of Egyptians, but that's besides the point.
It's really hot and awkward in here.
It's a hot room. But really, you did have some problems dealing with this culture, right? Because you said there was some heated moments on set with the actual Egyptian crew that they just didn't take the production seriously, right?
Yeah, Are
you allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk about that, actually.
Tell me about it. I like that story.
I'll talk about it as we're at a bar, and this is my scotch.
We're sipping our gin and juice.
Yeah, out of sippy cups. With the lids taken off. Yeah, it was like, I don't know, the way things, like, everything looks in Egypt as if it's, like, the Egyptian look, it's kind of like a novella in a way. Like, everything's so cleanly lit. It's like almost a fashion commercial. Everything is cleanly lit and really pretty and glossy. It's like, meet, Frank the hobo, and he looks fabulous. And it's like, I don't believe this guy's, so it's like, we were shooting a very realistic type script, and we were doing it handheld and very, like, just gritty. Yeah. And the way things are done there, it's like, oh, you don't want to use the crane today, it's like, you don't want to use the jib, they're trying to ask if we wanted, like, a jib or extra days of Steadicam, and it's like, no, we're gonna tell it, like, honest. So it's like, there are two things. It's like the way that we're filming and the subject matter. The film was about a leper, and we're to them we're glorifying a leper, and then that probably didn't look too good for them, and we're throwing dirt on things and dirtying up people's shirts, and they're like, we just pressed that shirt for these homeless people to wear in this junkyards in this garbage mountain scene. We just pressed it.
They actually cleaned and pressed the shirts that the homeless people would wear in the junkyard.
Yeah. It was just like everything was kind of prepared as if like I don't think there was that much debriefing. Like overall, it's just a lot of.
So this sounds like a director producer miscommunication to the actual crew, that they didn't explain that this was a nitty gritty type of a film. Right, portraying the realistic version of what a leopard would go through, I guess, in Egypt.
Yeah. It just took a lot of, just like a lot of people that were working would just automatically assume it was like, this is how we're doing it, and I guess just that was never really like prepared as much.
Right. So what happened? The crew ended up doing something, right?
Yeah. Like roughly, like throughout the whole shoot, it was difficult, because it's like they'll be working on, Ramadan hours, or they'll pride themselves on, like, we've done a 38-hour day, which is shooting for 38 hours.
You shot 38-hour days?
I did not, but I heard all about them. But it's like I would question. It's like, out of those 38 hours, how many how many naps were there? How many how many Turkish coffee breaks did we take in those 38 hours? And
how many naps happened?
Could we have done those in 12 hours?
38 hours. I don't think I would stay. I can't stay up at 38 hours anymore.
I can't. Yeah. So I guess.
I think after 6 I need a nap.
Yeah, I can't. I'm down for siesta time. Like, really. But, like, just generally, I don't think they really approved of the script. Like, production just wasn't. It was just always problems with even the first.
You're really sugarcoating this shit. Basically, they didn't show up, right?
Yeah, there's a few things. I am sugarcoating, but we're getting to it now. That's why you're editing. Sorry, I'm giving you more editing.
No. I don't want to edit this. You gotta
No.
Give me the truth right away.
Yeah. So. Just like there was like one day that, like a few days actually, but one day that I was definitely like, no one's picking up their phone, production's not responding, like the director and the producer and me and Roddy, the star, the leper, he was great, and we're all in the van and we don't know where we're going, and we're sitting at the side of the road, so we just grab some breakfast and wait some more. And then we arrived to, like, a train tracks because we were filming at the train tracks. And then it's finally like, oh, this is the wrong train tracks. So it was like 4 hours of, like, 3 or 4 hours of just time of where the fuck are we and what's going on.
Is that because the crew didn't show up to help?
Everyone, all the production staff, they weren't answering their phone. So, like, literally, like, I think basically just, like, rebelling against the production being made.
For a day, for 2 days, for a week?
This was definitely one day. Like, it was this one instance. Like, there were moments of like, oh, where's breakfast? Oh, that took 4 or 5 hours. Or where's this? Or that took longer. But this was like the first moment of like, wow, something's going on. I haven't really noticed until this moment. Mm-hmm. But, it's just like, nobody work, everyone go home, so no one gets paid. Because this is fucked up. So it was.
But you recovered. They continued.
Yeah. What we did, we took a day or two off, and basically they fired like all the staff.
And who is that? I mean, is that the producing staff, 30, the grip and electrics? Who are they fired?
30 production staff. Just as I was trying to explain to you, like how many different roles there are that I didn't know who was what. There was just like 30 different people in 3 days from now. And it's like, all right, now we got to work with them. And now I wasn't really that close to any of them because,
it took you a month to remember 30 names.
Yeah. And it's all by their nickname. So it's like, oh, his nickname was Wench. I had a nickname. His name was Wench. It was great. But, no, it's like a whole day has gone by, and now we finally have all new production staff.
So is this endemic of just you doing an indie film in in Egypt, or is it because you guys were really not organized enough as a crew to convey to the other crew in Egypt what's going on.
It was the production staff
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was the production staff that kind of just wasn't organized, and you could tell they weren't putting everything into it. You know, that's why they were fired. It was just like,
wait, you're saying that it's the Egyptians' fault.
it was definitely the Egyptian production crew. Like one day, our first day, we showed up, and I think it was a Friday, and it was a holy day, and our crew got kicked out of a town by a mob of angry lepers. So we were filming on...
That happens all the time in Brooklyn.
Filming on a Holy Friday, I guess, and this was...
Isn't that kind of dickish of you? You're filming on a Holy Friday.
Well, that was the first day of production. Come on, man.
I mean, that's a little bit, you know...
I'm sorry.
That's the American will coming into a foreign place saying, we own this.
You know? and, you know, we had to park our, all of our mohos somewhere. So it was throughout the entire block. But here we are, filming on a Holy Friday, mohos everywhere. And I had my Turkish coffee in one hand, and I'm prepping the camera. and we get maybe one or two shots off. And then the lead, Roddy, this was his neighbors basically noticed him being filmed, and they're like, oh, this is odd. So they wanted to be in the film too. And I guess I pictured the neighborhood kind of like, you know, like maybe a small town in Florida, just saying like, you know, just old people like, oh, there's something going on in town, let's check it out. So basically that happened. And there's, I don't know how many angry lepers there were, but there were...
Wait, so they were angry that you were filming in their neighborhood?
They were angry that we're filming in their neighborhood, and we're filming on a holy day, so we must be, you know, some kind of...
Assholes.
You know, assholes, or ISIS, or whatever we were. I don't know. Black flag, or whatever flag is bad. I don't know. I don't know the politics of the area, so... There's these two guys, and then there was 4, and then 6, and then there was a big circle around, like director and crew, and there was yelling and pulling of shirts, and I'm standing by. Like, this is my first day.
This is a holy day, and they're actually starting fist fights.
Yeah, it wasn't fist yet, but it was just some spitting on the floor, and there was some swearing. I'm sure there was a lot of cursing. I don't know, but this is my like almost 3rd or 4th day in Egypt, and this is what I'm seeing. The first 2 were just trying to get the camera past the police because they thought it was a spy, like some kind of spy device, because it has like an antenna on it, so it must be a spy device. But you know,
what were you shooting on?
An Alexa.
Okay.
And we were using all wireless, so yeah,
right.
There's a lot of spying going on.
I mean, that's a big spy device. That is.
Yeah, it's for spies that really love the integrity of their image.
No,
you know?
yeah, it's for spies who fucking suck at spying.
Yeah. You know.
I always love when I get stopped. You know, because nowadays everybody has a camera.
Yeah.
Everyone has a cell phone out, filming whatever, everything, right? Like, so I was shooting outside of a federal building, to interject your story for a second. But
yeah, no.
Outside of a federal building, just getting images of a couple of actors doing a small crew. It wasn't like we were taking up a big footprint.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people taking pictures of this federal building outside, like with their small smartphones and even DSLRs. But I had like, I think it might have been a Red, I'm not sure. It was a bigger camera.
Yeah.
And the cop comes up to us, of course. He goes, you can't shoot the federal building, you know, it's illegal.
Yeah.
He says this. And I go, did you tell those guys standing right on the steps of the federal building?
Like,
is that illegal?
They're the better spies than me.
Yeah. I'm like far away, by the way, from the actual building.
Yeah.
Like not across the street.
Tripod or no tripod?
Handheld.
Okay. All right.
And it's ludicrous nowadays. Like, are you crazy?
Yeah, it's like I am the most obvious spy.
Yes, are you crazy?
Yeah.
If I was planning a terrorist attack with a Red camera or an Alexa.
Yeah. It's like dressing up as the Hamburglar and you go into a bank or something. It's like...
Well, at least you're covering your face. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the Egyptians.
Yeah, so basically it was just... I was just standing there and watching everything for about 5-10 minutes. I don't know what's going on. And then all my assistants, they're just either smoking hash or drinking a Turkish coffee, because that's, I guess, the thing to do. And I just grabbed my camera. Someone starts following me and cursing at me or whatever he was saying.
Oh, a local.
Yeah, a local just followed me, like, basically...
leper local.
No, it wasn't a leper. I think this was just an angered motorist at the time. He just parked his little tuk-tuk or his little motorcycle off to the side, and now he's just angered at me. And he just, just literally, like, in my face, walking the whole time. I ignore him.
What do you mean? He's walking, like, right here?
He's just like, whatever he's saying, you're a, jerk, or whatever he was saying. And I ignore it. He spits at the floor at me, and I just literally pack up and go. You can't get into a fight
not...
You can't. Like, throughout the whole production, there was, tensions like that.
You're on
like,
their territory.
Yeah. And you have to try to respect them. It's like...
Well, wasn't that flagrant of the production to be filming on a holy day, at least the beginning of the production, without really telling the neighborhood?
Yeah. Well, that's why everyone got fired. It was like, I don't complain about breakfast or anything.
You mean this was the Egyptian side of the production?
Yeah, this is the Egyptian production staff that really didn't know, like, there were days that, like, we didn't really eat much or anything but, like, Boreos. And that's the Egyptian Oreos, the Boreo.
They're called Boreos?
They're called Boreos. So it's like, you're just sitting there eating Boreos. So, like,
so are they just like Oreos?
They're smaller. They're smaller.
But they're chocolate.
They're chocolate wafers with cream. And then the Twinkies are Twinkies extras. And they're just still smaller than our American Twinkies.
Well, our American Twinkies are sort of large.
Yeah, they're large, but...
Not talking about our dicks. I'm talking about...
Our American Twinkies are larger than the extra large Twinkies in Egypt.
Anyway, our American Twinkies are bigger than the Egyptian Twinkies. You heard this here first.
The extra large.
Right.
So the best Twinkies
Well,
there.
we've had growth hormone for, decades.
Yeah. So, but, I was just trying to... I think, like, it was just like that day. Is just... And nothing was, like, explained or why. There was just, like, a lot of that throughout the whole film was just, like... giving us a heads up or anything like why or...
Did the DP know what was
going on? Because the thing is, it's like, another language, it's like they're talking, and I was like, fuck, now we gotta talk to these guys again. And we just already said this. That's good enough. I just felt like it was like a lot of that.
Right. So, so at the end of it, I mean, there were some problems, it's a podcast, we have to get to the problems, but...
Yeah.
Did you have fun? Was it a good experience?
No, I did. It is beautiful, like being in a country, and just seeing a different sunrise and just...
And you got to ride a camel?
I hate camels. They have bad attitudes. Like just... They just
you didn't like anybody in Egypt.
No, I had made a few friends over there, but yeah, the camels, bad attitude. They look stupid, and they spit at you. I just rode a horse. Keep it
that's consistent. Everyone's spitting at you in Egypt.
There's just a lot of spitting at the ground.
All right. So, I mean, you didn't have to do this feature, right? This was something...
Yeah,
it wasn't for the money, obviously.
No, it was some of the people there, production, some production designer and director and DP and gaffer. It was just all of us were friends, and they're really great, and it says a lot that you could get like a great group of friends to have your back in these really hard, like difficult situations. And
but you only had their back for 2 months, right?
I had their back for 2 months. A second DP and a whole second unit took over for us because we were supposed to just go for two months of production. It was supposed to be 6 weeks, and then it was 2 months, and then it ended up being like 4.5, 5 months.
I'm curious.
And I don't even know what happened in the second half. Like no one's gotten back yet, really.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a long feature.
Yeah, it is.
And that's just because of the logistical problems.
Yeah, it was logistical problems. And we shot 2/3 of the film in those 2 months. It took double the amount of time to shoot the last third, you know?
Well, when you were there, what was the main problem of the feature slowing down? Was it dealing with the Egyptian crew, or was it just being in a strange environment and moving around in that environment, as opposed to the crew?
I think it was just
or
like...
a combination, obviously.
It was just like a lot of like Kafka-esque things happening that like made no sense. Like, you know, it would take, like on our days off, we've had just so many days off because no one had time to prep, and just like finding, like, we had to cancel a day maybe because we didn't have the right hat or something, or the right shirt or the right something, and no one could find it in the markets, and then we'd have to make like from scratch like a child's book bag, or so it was like a lot of making from scratch because you couldn't find it there. Like everything there was like a discount, so just like it was. So
wasn't there prep? Wasn't there a production designer? I mean, not to get too much further, but wasn't there someone who did all that beforehand? Like you needed a hat in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, things come up on set all the time, of course, but most of them should be handled before. Yeah. By a production designer for those kinds of things, no?
Yeah, no. Everything was ready, but the first day we got kicked out of that town. Like, literally, like, we couldn't go there, and we were supposed to film, like, 9 days in a row.
In that town.
And then that's, like, that took a while, like, 2 or 3 weeks to prep that. Now we're just prepping something we weren't even ready for yet.
Oh, I see. You had to sort of scratch that plan.
Yeah, it was literally
What happened to the town? Did you ever get back in?
No, we had to choose a different town. I don't even, like, that's his hometown. Like, I don't even know if he's back yet. I haven't really...
Oh, so he was kicked out of his hometown?
He came in the office and lived with us. Like,
Oh, the actor. You're talking about the actor. Or the director?
The leper lived with us in our like office.
You didn't touch the leper, right?
No, he's great. Like leprosy is you know it's cured. So I think I pretty much smoked hash with him one morning. It was at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was the thing to do. Right. You know. I tried the hash over there. It's good. I don't smoke, but when everyone's doing it, I was like, oh, sure.
Yeah, you gotta fit in.
Yeah, so I smoked hash with the leper Roddy, and he's great. Yeah,
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, you know, after a while, it's like, you know, where's everything going? What am I doing?
What are you doing?
What am I doing? Right now, I'm paying off the massive amount of debt I got myself.
Are you still in debt? From the gear? I thought you worked that out.
Yeah, I worked it out. You take out a loan to take out another loan, and then that kind of thing. So it's like loan.
And you owned a Red, you owned an Alexa, and you sold them both, right?
Yeah, I sold them both. But, you know, you own a camera. If you hit record, it's like now the sensor's already depreciated, and you've already it's down 30%.
That's a good way to put it, as opposed to driving the car out of the showroom, right?
Yeah, you hit record, and then now it's 30% cheap, you know, and then 9 months from now, the new something will come out, and then, so it's like, you know, you sell your camera for whatever a college kid could buy it for, really.
So wait, you sold your Red, your Alexa. What did you buy, or you bought nothing?
I bought nothing. Just
I paid $0 and I bought nothing.
I broke even, which is good. I think, you know, when you buy your own gear, it's, you know, you buy it because you don't have enough. I don't know. I didn't have enough clients yet. I bought my own gear. I didn't have too much experience yet. So I just was like, all right, I want to take out the middleman and at least shoot as much as I can, create my own terrible reel of me doing everything myself, do a lot of things for free, and then it's just doing a little better, and then someone will, like, trust you enough that, like, oh, that was cool, you know, that came out really nice. You shot this BTS video, you know, maybe do you want to be, you know, like B camera, or do you want to AC with your camera, and someone else could shoot with your camera and you could assist them, you know?
But I mean, there is a rental that you're giving up for that camera too.
Yeah, you'll get a rental and everything, but like path, like, you know, unordinary path to, like, being a DP. Like, I feel like a lot of people end up buying, you know, they will buy.
Well, you have to buy it now.
Yeah, you have to. Basically,
it's not like a choice.
Can't. It's not like I can, you or I are going to AC for, say, like Deacons or something.
Right,
for
well, that's
12
different.
years, and then he trusts you, and then you shoot. It's like that path is like almost gone now. So it's like you have to buy.
Yeah. Now, if you want to be a DP, there's no stepping stones, like you said. You don't become an AC to be a DP. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You have to just start shooting. Period.
Yeah. People like you as an AC. You're going to be an AC.
Yeah. There's no way I'm hiring an AC to be a DP on anything I direct. For example, I'm going to hire a DP. Someone who does it more or less every day, basically.
Yeah, and by buying the gear, at least for me, it was, and a few of my friends, it's like you get a chance to, show that you have an eye, and then everything from there is just, learning standards,
So why did you get rid of it? Was not helping anymore? I mean, those are good cameras you got rid of. You didn't get rid of, like, shitty DSLRs.
I couldn't keep up. It's just, I felt like I couldn't keep up with it as much.
What do you mean?
Just buying the new gear. You're in
it's
Red.
expensive. It's expensive.
If you're in Red or Ari, it becomes like the Red or Ari Club. Yeah. Even Sony now. Sony's doing it. But it's like I just couldn't keep up with it as much. And, someone else will have a newer kit, and then they'll get it off of me.
Right.
So it's like maybe I just couldn't keep up, I think. And
I gave up.
I gave up on that.
Well, it's expensive. Like, you brought up a valid point. Like, Red basically charges me to be part of their club $10,000 to $20,000 every year.
Yeah.
It's
they're
like,
new.
Right, they're new whatever. You want this little tiny piece of metal on your camera? It's delicious. It's great.
Yeah.
Give us $10,000.
And all clients want that.
Yeah. I mean, I've sort of slowed down in the whole race in terms of just buying whatever Red says to buy.
Yeah.
So, like, their new piece of junk. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
The weapon.
They're gonna hold this against me.
Yeah, like Jannard is going to deny your Red user.
He's gonna do my Red user email and account will be shut down tomorrow.
And you're done. Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't buy the weapon because I'm like, usually they offer you something compelling.
Yeah.
More dynamic range, whatever.
Yeah.
Now they just gave me a different body, wanted to charge me $20,000 for it and give me some ProRes.
Yeah. It's like pimp your Alexa. I mean, pimp your Red. It's
I mean, I have a what's it called? The what is the card? The Dragon X. What is it called? The card that converts.
Oh, that is the
Red X.
The Red Rocket X.
I'm sorry, I'm forgetting.
The Red Rocket X.
Yeah, so I have a Red Rocket X card that I paid. I think with the case, it's $7,000. It's an expensive card.
Yep.
And then when, within 6 months they want to sell me a body that does ProRes.
Yeah, that's the worst thing in the world. Yeah.
And there's no other benefit besides really that. Oh, maybe there's some connections, but whatever. There's no real benefit.
No.
For someone who owns a Dragon, for example.
Yeah.
And I own a Dragon camera, so why would I spend an extra $10,000-$20,000 for that privilege? It doesn't make sense.
They don't really look like Red doesn't look. To get really geeky with Red, it's
I think my account is being shut down right now.
The whole obsolete is obsolescence is obsolete thing to get geeky about Red. It's like that's completely counterintuitive.
Well, it's still a company that wants to make money, right? But if you look at the old footage, the
Red One,
Red One footage,
it's beautiful.
I still think it looks great.
Yeah.
The Red One with the Mysterium.
The Red One Mysterium X. Yeah, I just used that. I borrowed that from a friend.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a camera anymore. And I was like, this is what we're going to shoot on today. This Red One Mysterium X.
Well, then you waited 2 minutes for boot up.
Yeah. But it was beautiful. Like, it looks really good.
Yeah. I agree with you. But I do like the Dragon, and the dynamic range of the Dragon itself is night and day. It's crazy. It's like if you take it outside and you shoot like a beautiful daylight scene and shadow, and you're in a shadow area, you will actually see a lot of detail and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The background will not blow out. The shadow detail will be there.
Yeah. I mean, the blacks are better.
That's something 5 years ago
less
we would have,
noisy.
even less than 5 years, but never had that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Unless maybe you're shooting with 35mm film, which no one's going to pay me anymore to do that, I feel. I think that's...
Yeah.
I think for our generation... generation, is it Y?
Yeah, I think we're generation Y. Yeah.
I think that's a hard push for a producer and director to pay for 35 millimeter film.
Yeah, unless it's a feature and you're best friends with them. That's it.
Well, unless you don't take a salary.
Yeah, unless you take no salary just to shoot on film. But it's just like that's the way everyone goes. Is just with buying their own camera, and that's.
And you stopped that.
Yeah, I just stopped it. I tried.
You're not getting anything else.
I have not gotten anything else since then. I'm trying the whole. Maybe I could. I just want a DP for people to trust me and.
Yeah, but that's a little iffy because there's lots of productions. Yeah. I mean, from my own experience.
Yeah.
That even if they don't want a red, they don't mind if you have a DSLR or something like that. And you're saying you have no cameras.
I have nothing now. Yeah.
You have an iPhone.
I have an iPhone. It doesn't shoot 4K. I still have the 5 iPhone. Right. So yeah, I can't. Yeah.
I don't know if I agree completely with you there. That because if you consider yourself, then maybe that's a philosophical thing. If you consider yourself a director of photography. Mm-hmm. Having a camera is just part of your arsenal. Like you can go out and shoot and build your craft by yourself.
Yeah.
Without having some other production say, okay, here's this camera. Now we want you to do for us something. But you need to just build your own reel and your own craft to be better. And I know it works through jobs as well, of course. Yeah. Like if you look at my reel, it's all jobs.
Yeah.
But the way I built myself as a better cinematographer is just by taking my camera out and shooting something.
Yeah. No,
learning composition, learning natural light, learning how to use that,
Yeah.
Without making it a big production, I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you and a few industry friends go out and then you do that.
You mess around.
A few weeks and you have something nice. But
or you just mess around and you test the cameras. Even we were going to have a test with I think when you had the Alexa, we wanted to do a test.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can do that anymore.
No,
but
we still could. I'm at least the one thing I'm doing now is just trying to become more friends with rental houses, and then you're like part of their family, and then
right. Well, you get good deals, obviously.
Yeah, if you could, in New York, if you could get a better deal than Adorama, that's good.
Right.
For helping someone out, and then I've been trying to use that.
So the productions you work with, do they have their own equipment or do they just rent it?
They'll rent it from the rental house that I've been doing more work with. And honestly, I think that might be another way, buying, having.
See, I feel like you're giving up some money there.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, because they could be paying you for your gear. That's what I do. I charge for my red. Yeah. And the red has paid for itself, so that's one good thing about. Let's get back into the good graces of Jannard and everybody else over there.
Yeah, no,
but
they are.
It has paid for itself. It's like
no, it has. Yeah. I would be ACing I would have done 3 years of probably all ACing
without buying a camera.
And I think Red really did that.
And what about your own projects? Do you have anything you want to do personally for yourself?
I feel like I've kind of like what you want to do. I'm getting into that situation with DPing. It's like I'm trying to organize a few specs they call it that I would just want to develop.
I know what they call
it. I don't know. Someone there might not.
Someone over there in TV land.
Yeah, but develop a few of my own specs where I can just kind of all right, this is kind of the style that I would like.
Commercials?
I think I would do one commercial, one fashion, and maybe a narrative.
That's smart. You want to build your reel.
Yeah.
But that goes back to you owning your own piece of gear and equipment, so you can go do that without without paying a rental house and
then it becomes a lot of favors for favors. If you don't own your own gear, it's a lot of favors for favors. I would maybe work a week at the
You'd beg me
or something.
You'd beg me.
You. I'd hey man, I'll wash your car.
If you clean my house and you wash my car, you can have the Red Dragon for a week.
All right, cool. And you could just put me up, and then I don't have to pay rent, maybe, and that would be cool.
Well, I guess it's two philosophies because I feel, not every production hires me and pays for my gear. So those are cool, but I always make more money if we're just talking about money here.
Yeah.
That when I have a piece of gear to also rent them, I'll make double of what I would make.
Yeah, that's like another you.
It's basically another me.
I brought me, and then me, and then me.
Right, and sometimes I tell them, keep the gear, I'll go home.
Yeah.
But it's just a business decision where, I bought 2.5 tons of grip and electric. and I bought all these cameras, and I bought a drone, and I have all this shit, and it's not used all the time, and I'm not like a full-time rental house. I don't do that.
Yeah.
But when a production calls me up, even big productions, they go, well, we're trying to shoot this and this and that, and sometimes they request certain equipment that I have.
Yeah.
And if I have it, I'm going to charge them for it.
Yeah, no, that is smart.
Yeah, and then at the same time, the reason I have it is not only for them, it's because I want to use it to make my own projects without going into a whole other debt of going to a rental house. And because now if I need to rent something, I have to make deals in a rental house. Okay, I'm going to shoot this feature. I have to shoot it in 3 weeks because that's the cheapest way I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
3-day weeks. I get my little deal going. It's
3
easier.
weeks.
It's easier for the rental house.
Yeah.
But what if I want to shoot a feature a different structure, which I do want to do in my case? I want to break it down into 10 different parts.
Yeah.
And shoot it over 6 months.
Yeah.
So now
then you're kind of screwed with rental house.
Then the rental house thing is done for because they're gonna charge me for every day basically.
Yeah.
And if I don't own my own equipment, it's actually more expensive not to own it.
Yeah. No, in that case, I would ask you or anyone else with a similar sensor. No, you're right with the rental house. The two different schools. It's great to get like in with a rental house where they basically.
Well, no, it's always good to have a relationship.
Yeah, it's good to have the relationship where instead of coming at them with your numbers of like what you have, they ask you first like, what do you need? How much do you have? And then you could just say, I really have this. $300. Please give me a full red package.
A lot of rental houses will deal because now it's getting where owner-operators like me and other people are renting their own gear. So rental houses do have to compete as well. So I did find that if anyone who hasn't dealt with a rental house should just talk to them, they will always work out a deal with you.
Yeah.
I've never had a rental house not work out a deal.
Yeah.
Because it's in their own best interest.
Especially a smaller rental house. And it's in their best
even
interest.
Big ones. Right?
Okay. Wow. All right.
TCS, Able, all of these.
Oh, jeez. Okay, yeah.
All of these rental houses will work with you.
It's in their best interest because it's like, all right, and you tell them it's like it's with this new company or it's with this or that, and it's like, all right, they lock you in as a DP. You're like resident DP with their gear in a sense. Right. It's like.
A lot of times I actually end up. There's a lot of producers who like to do all the legwork and get all the quotes and all the money figured out.
Yeah.
I actually don't like that.
I like the same way that you do it.
I like getting the money so then I control the money.
Yeah.
Well, if someone says I have this budget, I'd rather have that because then I'm not overpaying for the gear, and I'm getting I'd rather give it to the people. Yeah. And also to myself, of course. But
of course.
I'd rather distribute the funds where it makes sense for the production and for me and for the people I want to hire.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times productions say, okay, we have X amount of dollars for the gear and we have X amount of dollars for the crew. And I go, why don't you just give me the total? Let me work out my crew that I need for this particular job, and I'll make it all work.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about every single nickel in terms of that case.
Yeah.
I'll just hit your number.
And you're the closest one to the crew and the equipment, and you know it. It's not like it's a producer saying, oh, will this map box work? And then there's all this stuff. Right. You're just like, you're making it easier.
Well, making it easier for them, but a lot of producers don't want to give up that control of you handling the money.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because I actually end up saving the money and using it better than them.
Yeah.
Because they're going to, for example, they're going to call up a rental house and, a big company, whatever big company is going to call up a rental house.
Doesn't know him, or maybe.
Well, no. They're going to say, hi, we're from this big company. We want to rent equipment for, we're a producer. That's what they say.
Yeah.
And
IBM here.
Whatever. Yeah. We're from UPS. We want to rent. This camera package.
Yeah. Apple here. Yeah.
They're going to get the retail price, and the retail price is going to be twice as much as my retail price.
Yeah. No.
Because when I call them, I'm a director of photography calling. Yeah. I go, look, I want to work with you. I have the smaller budget here, even for the same job. Mm-hmm. They will always cut a deal.
Yeah, no, always. They will. And especially if you've been there a few times, like, oh, Mike is great. Yeah, is Mike there? Let me talk to Mike.
And a lot of DPs don't want to possibly do this business side of it. I don't know if you do. I don't know if you want to.
I like it.
You have to do it.
You kind of have to.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know, what makes you unique or different as a DP? Like, why can't they just get like a local somewhere else or something? It's like, because I come with all this and I can help out with crew, with gear, and I have relationships with rental houses, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
I always found, I mean, this is after years and years of thinking about this, but being a good, successful DP is a lot about, obviously you said relationships, but it's just about consistency. So someone has to always believe that you are going to consistently deliver for them. Because the moment you don't one time,
yeah,
you're gone.
Yeah. Like that one morning that you were kind of hungover because you were at a company party.
That's you.
Or that like one morning you're like, oh man, why did I take a Xanax last night? That's me.
Well, but think about all the people who keep hiring you.
Yeah.
It's obviously they might like you as a person, but it's because you're obviously delivering consistently on the job.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that there's no one better than you, but they already know they can trust you at least to do that. They might not fly your ass to Florida, but...
Yeah. But, yeah, no, the biggest thing is just trust, I guess. And trust in, I guess, friendships. Like, not that many people, like...
We came full circle.
Yeah, we did. Here we are.
Next week, we'll be chatting with Eythan Young. This is a different Eythan, and we'll be talking about all his directing work in terms of music videos that he shot. And he's doing some interesting work. The videos look really cool, so stay tuned till next week. Bye.